What's up, Ravens fans? Welcome into For the Flock Rundown. I'm Ryan here with Noah, and not a ton going on. Ravens head coach search continues. We have 16 official interviews via Zoom in the first round and are officially scheduled to kick off the second round of in-person interviews tomorrow with Anthony Weaver. But where's your head at, Noah? What's on your mind right now?
Dude, I am so excited. Just my head right now is like, I'm just trying to wrap up like everything that's going on this offseason. There's so much. I'm like, man, first of all, we need a head coach. Then I'm like, second of all, like, are we going to extend Lamar Jackson? Is this thing going to like linger on like it did in the past? And then I'm like, bro, we're going to keep like Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith. And then I'm like, bro, who are we going to get in the draft? We kind of need a pass rusher, but then we kind of need like, some offensive line help. But then I'm like, well, what if there's a really good receiver that falls? I don't know. My head's all over the place with like what the Ravens can do to build this roster, to build a coaching staff to be like a Super Bowl contender next year. And I'm just really excited. I know that the Ravens are really going in on this coaching search, man. Like I think they were up to 16 or 17 interviews.
16, yep.
So, and we can talk about the
Should we
second
pull up the
interview.
list?
Yeah, let's do it, bro.
Pull it up. I know we're gonna be talking about it a lot, but I updated the list. It's not in order of who we interviewed, but those are the 16 that we interviewed. We interviewed the Jags defensive coordinator today.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a random extra that I don't think anyone saw coming just because it wasn't announced to be scheduled, but I would imagine the first round's over because we are officially doing an in-person interview with Anthony Weaver tomorrow. It doesn't mean that they can't interview anyone else via Zoom, but I do think they're kind of jumping into the second round here. But yeah, ton of names, bro. And the balance, right? Like experience, no experience, offense, defense. Like there's no clear direction by any means. They are continuing to just cast a wide net. And I don't know if we should read a ton into like Anthony Weaver getting the first interview either, because there's a ton of he's obviously been here before. He understands the Ravens culture. I think that they probably do like him, but yeah. Also, we have 4-ish other guys to bring in for the in-person interviews, and that may stretch out. Like maybe they're just trying to get someone in here this week because you can't interview Kubiak. You can't interview Chris Shulo on the Rams, Nathan Shieldhouse on the Rams, Vance Joseph on the Broncos, Davis Webb on the Broncos. You're not allowed to interview those guys this week in person. So we got to wait. You know what I mean? So maybe they're just going to start getting a couple guys that they did like Anthony Weaver, and kick it off here. But I don't think they're going to make a decision in the next few days. That's kind of what I'm thinking. What are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to have to be wait and see, especially if Clint Kubiak is one of their top guys, right? We're going to have to wait. They had a second interview requested for Stefanski, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Wednesday. This week.
Yeah.
But he got scooped up on Saturday by the Falcons.
Yeah, so he was a legit contender. And obviously, with the second round of interviews, you're expecting those to be like the top 5 guys, right? Like that top. So, I mean, that's some pretty breaking news. I mean, as far as development of this search, is Anthony Weaver is a top 5 candidate.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I think he's a legitimate name to keep your eye out for. I don't know if you saw, there was a tweet from Jamie Eisner with the updated odds to be the Baltimore Ravens' next head coach.
Minter's in lead, right?
Yeah, he has Minter at minus 110. Robert Saleh and then Kubiak are tied for second. And then Sean McDermott actually just snuck in there to number 4.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I haven't even requested an interview with him yet. Obviously, he just got fired today. But that actually brings us to a really interesting conversation, Ryan. Bro, what do you think about this? Like immediately whenever McDermott gets fired, a bunch of the analysts are saying this is the top head coaching position that anyone's going to want by far. And suddenly they just forget that we have Steve Bisciotti, Lamar Jackson, and Eric DeCosta, Derrick Henry, Kyle Hamilton, Nate Wiggins, Roquan, like all these guys just forget, right?
Yeah.
Because Josh Allen seems to be the media favorite. That
National
was
media.
yeah, we saw that whenever Lamar Jackson had a historically good season last year and got robbed of a third NFL MVP. But and then you also see it with like everyone's coming out saying, "Oh, poor Josh Allen."
Dude,
His
crazy.
team let him down. I'm like,
4
bro,
turnovers.
4 turnovers. I think he had 12 fumbles in his last. He's averaging like 2 fumbles per game in the
Bro, there were
playoffs.
some reckless fumbles too. Like very
Yeah,
avoidable. Very avoidable.
and I'm like, but when Lamar loses in the playoffs, it's his fault. But whenever Josh Allen loses in the playoffs, it's his team let him down despite 4 turnover. I don't understand it. But anyways, we do have to acknowledge the Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback probably in the NFL. Okay, you could put Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and yeah, those guys and Lamar in that top 4 conversation.
Yeah.
Plus, the Bills are getting a new stadium. They're a playoff contender every single year. So I understand that's definitely a desirable place. But the question is, Ryan, do you think this actually makes a difference as far as who the Ravens land with their head coach? Is there going to be the Ravens and the Bills going for the same top guys? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I don't know if they would go after the same guy or not. I think the Ravens have an edge because they've already done 16 interviews and the Bills have done 0. So there's definitely an edge there. I also were seeing early reports that the Bills were interested in Brian Daboll, which we didn't even interview. And they also are interested in potentially interviewing Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, which we have interviewed, but not a huge deal, I don't think. So I don't know if we're going after the same guy. I mean, if they really wanted Kubiak and we both waited out, then Kubiak. Let's say the Ravens really want Kubiak and we wait, to interview him in person next week, and the Bills also do the same. He may get to choose if that's the top options. But other than something like that playing out, I don't know if it changes a ton. I mean, the Bills, like you said, are a top destination. I still think the Ravens are the top destination, but I understand why the Bills would jump into the top 2 or 3 available spots. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes sense. It's a consistent, competitive team with a franchise QB, and they've had a lot of success too. So I in the new stadium, like you said, I totally get why they're a top spot. I don't think it changes a ton though, and I think the Ravens have a huge head start. So, I mean, the Ravens probably already have a decent idea of who they like. I mean, if they're already starting to narrow it down here, Steve Bisciotti said there's going to be a top 4 or 5. Anthony Weaver's one of those.
Yep. Anthony Weaver's
probably
one.
4 more-ish.
Yep.
Could be 1 more, 1 less, whatever. But like 4 more. And I think it'll be super telling how aggressive they get, because talking about the odds, for example, right? Like Saleh is still top 3 odds, but he's interviewing with the Titans and then the Cardinals, and he's got interviews lined up all week. We just saw how that played out with Stefanski. Like,
right.
If you aren't getting an interview and being aggressive, that might not be a guy the Ravens really, really covet, or they would have jumped on it, right? Like, I mean, there's a high chance Saleh signs with someone else. You already have 2 more teams lined up to interview for their head coaching spot. I mean, if you're not scheduling an interview very soon, I just think that that's kind of telling that maybe that's not one of the options. I would imagine that if the Ravens don't schedule a ton this week, they are definitely interested in Kubiak and maybe some of the Rams coordinators like Chris Shula or one of those guys. Like it would be very telling if let's say they only interview Anthony Weaver all week or something, or maybe one other guy. It's like, oh no, they're going to slow roll this. They're going to take their time, and they'll probably end up making a decision after the Super Bowl, which is what Seattle did with Mike McDonald. They waited until after the AFC Championship game, interviewed Mike, ended up hiring him after the Super Bowl. So we're talking 3 weeks from now,
Right.
So I don't know. To round about to the original question, I don't think the Bills' availability changes a ton, but sure, it adds a little competition to the head coaching search. There was 10 available head coaching spots this cycle, which is crazy. That's a third of the league. Like, that's
Yeah,
nuts. So
it's
I
crazy, bro.
it's going to be a ton of movement. I mean, 3 of those are already knocked off, though, right? We got Harbaugh to the Giants right away, Stefanski to the Falcons, and then the Dolphins just signed the Packers defensive coordinator. So
Yeah,
we got
I thought it
7
was kinda
available
weird.
spots. Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't interview a ton either. Like, they weren't interviewing the same guys that the Ravens were and stuff. So,
Yep.
I mean,
We'll see if it
certain
works out for him.
teams. Yeah. Well, I also think they probably look at their situation too and like, there's a little bit of do we have a little patience in it because we might need to rebuild with a quarterback, and like the Bills and Ravens are in different spots. They're probably looking for a guy that's providing juice now rather than, hey, let's get a guy that we have a 5-year plan with and we need to make sure we go get a franchise QB. Even Pittsburgh's probably in a situation like that. Can Pittsburgh flip their team? They're not probably getting Rodgers back from, if he even plays, but like, can they flip their team that fast? I think a lot
No.
of these teams are in a couple year rebuild window or retool window
Yeah,
while
Steelers won't make the playoffs next year, man.
yeah, that's how I'm feeling too. So the only teams that are like, whoa, watch out is probably Bills and Ravens. Like they're teams that could instantly jump into Super Bowl contender with the right coach. So yeah, it's competitive, but I think the Ravens have a hell of a head start and they're going to get their guy. Whoever they want is probably who they're getting, is how I'm feeling. But it's hard to tell who they want. I don't know.
Dude, I'm hearing Davis Webb could be kind of like a dark horse
For Bills or Ravens?
for Ravens.
Okay, because he's worked with Allen before. They were like trying to hire him and stuff before. There's a connection there. That's why I didn't know. But yeah, no, I've heard a lot of good things about him too.
Backup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it would be strange for apparently they're like best friends. They're like the same age, Davis Webb and Josh Allen. They're friends. They were in the same quarterback room as players together. And I think it would be quite strange for your head coach to be like your boy, I think it's good to have a good relationship with them, but to have that type of familiarity, like you got to be able to have a line there of, you know what I mean, of professionalism, and maybe they could still do that, but yeah, I think apparently he's really smart and is crushing interviews. It would be interesting. And then I saw some rumors that Lamar could have interest in Mike McDaniel. And
Yeah, we got a super chat about that. We might as well read that and talk about it.
yeah,
Gene with
thank
the
you for the
2,
super.
appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. And said, I'm in on Magic Mike MC. Let's get weird. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know. My initial thought is not for head coach, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I think I definitely trust him as an OC. I think he's extremely creative. I think he's got a fun personality. How he led the team in Miami, and I know that's a tough place to lead, especially, it's a different situation than Baltimore for sure. A lot more going on in the city of Miami. They haven't had the same consistent stability or success. They don't have a stable quarterback situation right now. Like a lot of moving parts that aren't going on in Baltimore. So do I think he would do better in Baltimore? Yeah. But I don't know. My initial, I guess, gut is like, yes, as OC. I'm not sure as head coach. But what are you thinking about Mike McDaniel?
he has a very interesting personality. I don't know how well it vibes with like the personality of Eric DaCosta and Steve Bisciotti. He seems to be an offensive mastermind.
Yeah, I think he is.
And let's be real. He made the playoffs 2 out of his 4 years. He finished with a winning record. He was 35-33 with Tua Tagovailoa as his quarterback. I mean, he came into Baltimore and whooped on us.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. They were like competing with us for the number 1 seed. What, 2023? I know we whooped them at the end of the season, but still, I mean, they were the team we were fighting for the first round bye.
Yeah. I mean, his first year as the Dolphins head coach, he went 9-8, made the playoffs. Second year, went 11-6, made the playoffs. He also has a history of beating Buffalo, which could come in handy if we see them in the playoffs. obviously very familiar with Josh Allen, and he's also familiar with the Patriots, who seem to be on the up and up in the AFC for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, interesting. Also, it is interesting that the AFC East was so bad for so many years, and now all of a sudden it's competitive. Buffalo, Miami,
Patriots.
and the Patriots. Jets are still garbage, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it's interesting too. We'll see. I mean, I have no idea what direction they're going in. I know Anthony Weaver's first. That's it. That's the only thing we have any clue of.
Yep.
Um,
Which I would not be upset with Anthony
No,
Weaver.
it's not. Yeah, I don't think it's a negative. I didn't have him at like the top of any of my lists. Like I've been kind of spitballing a top 5, top 3 for the last like week or so, just because we're trying to dial it down. And I haven't had him on those lists, but I don't think he's at the bottom of the list either. He understands the Ravens culture. He played for the Ravens. He knows it, and is a great leader. Like almost inspiring when he speaks. You know what I mean? Like I've listened to many interviews. Like he comes across.
Presence.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
When he talks, people listen.
Yeah, 100%. But from and I guess he does understand defense. I mean, he's been a defensive coordinator on Miami, and they've been solid. He was our D line coach. I just would still think that we would be a bit dependent on coordinator hires with that. Like I trust that he can lead, but like also a huge unknown until like we start hiring some coordinators. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if just hiring Weaver, I'm like, oh, defense is locked in golden from here on out. If you get a guy like Minter, I think his maybe less leadership, different type of presence, but better strategy, communicates it, able to simplify it to a very easy level. And we struggle with so much communication and playing cohesively together. I think that's his strength. So, there's pros and cons for each guy. I think like what you lose in X's and O's a little bit with a guy like not going with Minter and going with Weaver, you gain leadership probably with Weaver and understanding Baltimore culture. And there's probably no one on that list. I mean, Minter's been here too, though. He gets it, but Weaver played here, you know what I mean? And coached here. But we also just saw that with Zach Orr. So I don't know.
Yeah. I actually saw someone just comment, Ravens King 16 said, why are we interviewing Darren Rizzi? And I was like, I haven't heard of that one yet. And then I just searched it up, and it's apparently true. Darren Rizzi, you could probably add that one to your list, Ryan, is expected to
break
within the last hour. Ravens expected to interview Broncos special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi for head coaching job.
In person or like via Zoom?
I don't know.
I'm going to take it off the second round because that's a big deal. I'll put it on the first right now.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's in the second.
It would be the first interview for him, right? So I mean,
yeah, it would be the first.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know anything about Darren Rizzi.
That's the first
special teams coordinator. Sounds like Harbaugh, though.
Yeah, that's the first guy. He's he has worked for the Saints. He's worked for the Broncos most recently. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't even have a comment on it. So we're interviewing 3 Broncos assistants then.
Yeah.
Because you got Rizzi, special teams coordinator. You got Davis Webb, pass game coordinator, and Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator.
Yeah. I think out of those 3 guys, I'd probably be most excited with Webb.
Yeah, the young offensive mind. Yeah.
Especially like his ability to work with quarterbacks and being a former quarterback. And but I saw Jeff Zarebek. Obviously, he's like probably the most plugged in like reporter. Great reporter for the Ravens, for the Athletic. So he put for his best guess, he put Weaver, Minter, McDaniel. Wow, so he's got McDaniel in his top 5. Not maybe his top 5 once, but his best guesses. Shieldhouse and Kubiak. So 3 of those guys being offensive minds, 2 of them being defensive minds.
Yeah. I mean,
Shieldhouse is a sneaky one too, man. Coming from the tree.
I've heard a lot of good things about him, and I was wondering, like, does he leap to head coach, or does he kind of like maybe come with Chris Shula as an OC? If like Chris Shula gets a head coaching job, like what is the dynamic there? Are they a package, or is it, like Shieldhouse would be the head coach?
Yeah.
I don't know how that would play out. You know what I mean? I don't know, because he's very young, right?
Yeah. He is. Let's see.
He was born in 90, so he's 36.
Yeah.
35 right now. Yeah, he turns 36 in November. 35. Has coached for Illinois in college, Iowa State, and the Rams.
Look at Zach Taylor. I'm sorry, not Zach Taylor. Sean McVay is like sneakily building one of the most legendary coaching trees we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they learn. I swear they like learn from him too. I'm sure he's a great hire, but then he like elevates everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. He's so far he's produced Matt LaFleur for the Packers, Zach Taylor, Cincinnati Bengals, Kevin O'Connell, who that dude is a really good head coach and offensive mind, and then Liam Cohen, who's just brought the Jags to the playoffs. So, yeah,
insane. And now you got two more candidates like Chris Shula and Shieldhouse are getting interviews with a lot of people.
Yeah, apparently Shieldhouse was a dual threat college quarterback.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere too.
Yeah,
who did he play for?
He played for Illinois. He finished his career as the school's all-time leader in total offense. Threw for 8,500 passing yards and 55 touchdowns, and then ran for 2,000 yards and 19 touchdowns. So,
yeah, I mean that could be an interesting pairing. I mean, I also really trust. I don't know how you feel about this too. Like we're all like diving into who we want and stuff, but like also like after listening to Steve Bisciotti speak the other week, I kind of just gotta put some faith in it. Like that, because they know way more than any of us making videos or any reporters, any fans. Like they know. They're the ones listening to the Zoom. They're asking the questions. They're gaining information. They're bringing back people. They're doing in-person interviews with Steve Bisciotti. Another interesting dynamic there is if they're starting in-person interviews tomorrow, Steve's going to be there, right? And is Lamar with him?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Dude, that's a good point, Ryan. It's like, I feel the same way as you, man. As soon as I got done listening to Steve Bisciotti, my confidence just went.
Yeah, it's like, let's have some faith, man. This is what I want. This is the owner like that you want.
Yeah, like his emotional intelligence and his there's a reason why he's a billionaire, right? There's a reason why he's the owner of the Ravens and Aerotech and all the other things that he did and has success. Like, I walked away listening to that saying, wow, the Ravens are in really good hands as far as competent ownership. No wonder they make the playoffs almost every single year and have won 2 Super Bowls in a relatively short amount of time in like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like not even under 30 years. So like, there's still franchises out there that have been around for double, triple the Ravens' tenure and haven't even been to a Super Bowl yet. So I walked away feeling really good that they're going to pick a good guy. Like,
yeah,
they could probably even like their top 5 candidate pool that they bring in for the second round. You could probably bet you could pick any one of those guys. If they're coming back in, they're a legit guy for like they're legit. So I think we're going to be in a good spot.
So do I, man. I'm totally putting some blind faith. Like I have my opinions, but also if like they go totally left field and take someone that's not on anybody's top list, gotta trust it. It was what Steve said about when they hired Harbaugh, right? Didn't he call out Tony Dungy and he's like, I heard all the national media saying like you'll never be able to find another John Harbaugh, and how is like Steve's like you're using our own success against us. Yeah, like we built up Harbaugh. You know what I mean? Like,
totally
yes,
forgot that we found him and then developed.
yeah, like this organization had success together. Yes, Harbaugh played a role. Like, I'm not trying to strip credit away, but like it is an organizational thing. And I think Steve made that very clear. Like, we're trying to find the next guy. Like, you can't use that against us. Like, we can build another guy too.
Yeah. And it was funny how it was just like complete silence after that.
Yeah.
Like, and then you could hear a pin drop in the media room. Like, everyone was like, oh, crap. He just dropped a bomb. Kind of like how his response was like, whenever they're like, would Harbaugh have been the head coach if he, made a play? And he was like, for a week.
That just was like a crazy line. I know. That was a crazy line.
Whoa. But I dude, it was like, and then you heard nothing from Dungy or any like stuff after that. It was just like, you got, dude. Like,
yeah, it put it in perspective. Yeah, 100%. It put it in perspective. Like, even for me, like hearing that, I was like, yeah, it makes so much sense. Like, why are we stripping? Why are we only crediting Harbaugh? Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like the media just credits Harbaugh. Like, oh, like you can't replace that type of coach. Well, in 08, like he was not a highly coveted coach and like wasn't like that, you know what I mean? Like the organization built together, had success together. And why couldn't they go find a potentially better option and have more success? Like that's the goal, right? I don't think there's a crazy long window here either. He said he's selling the team. Like he doesn't want to be 80 and have the team. Well, he's 70. So like, you know what I mean? Like we might have like a 10-year run here. And I think that pressure is probably good though. I like, as fans too, we feel it, like, especially with Lamar, like entering year 9, like we need a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I don't want to let this stretch out like another 5+ years and we still don't have a Super Bowl. Like that's brutal. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Did you want to get to these other?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, this one's for you from fam.
So hello Noah, Sean here. What's up, Sean? Appreciate you, my brother. Love the content. Keep it going. Ravens are the top job. Coming in with the cold hard facts here, Sean.
Agreed.
Owner, GM, dude, world class owner. We were just talking about listening to his interview. GM, we know Eric DeCosta's be cooking. Lamar Jackson, history. Always good seeing you. It's good seeing you too, man. I appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the love. And I think you got a good point. I'm biased, obviously, but I think the Ravens have the best as far as like top to bottom, the personnel, like the actual roster, the general manager, the quarterback, the owner. I think they're the best option as well.
Yeah, 100%. Appreciate you, fam. And then we got another one from Pa. Appreciate you with the 5. Head coach Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel, defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. If we get these folks, we are making a push for the Lombardi, and Lamar is a 3-time MVP. That is a super interesting list. I don't know if that. I know they're all interviewing for head coach jobs, so I don't know if they get broken down. You know what I mean? Like, I think in their mind, they want head coaching jobs. But if it played out like this, I think that's a talented staff.
It would be very talented staff. If that happened, also, it would only be one season that you had those guys because the next year they'd be probably
If there was any success, you'd get plucked, and that's kind of like it goes. I've said this before, but it is a reason I lean offense for a guy like Kubiak, because I just don't want to see that kind of turnover with Lamar in the offense. Like if you get it rolling at the right level, and let's not act like we didn't have it rolling last year either, though. You know what I mean? Like Todd Monken had it rolling. Like it's not. I don't think this is a far-fetched thing to get this offense going. It just can be smarter. It can be more creative. We can have more answers. And I don't want it to change. I don't want that turnover there. So if you get that young offensive mind, I mean, we do probably have a decade run here.
Yeah. And it's not like the Ravens offense was terrible this last year either. I mean,
no. And then, but I'm just saying,
like top 10 in points, even with an off year,
especially like rushing, the run game was strong again. And that's with a freaking below average O-line. Like, you know what I mean? Eric DeCosta talked about it a little bit in the presser about how he, I think he owned up to the pass rush more than he owned up to the O-line. But regardless, he did mention those two things as like weaknesses and things to improve on, which is exactly where the Ravens need to attack. So, I mean, having a stronger offensive line and a great mind is just a exciting combination, man. And I don't think the Ravens are really that far away. Just got to nail the hire.
Yep. I agree. I think that's a good point about, you come in, you have offensive success. If you don't hire that offensive head coach, then you lose him next year, right? So I think that's a really good point. You want to have some continuity with that offense. I just would be fun. Have we ever seen, I guess, Billick
technically, but our offense was terrible. We never had a QB.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, did we ever have a good offense until like McNair came through that 1 year?
Yeah, that was it.
Like, I'm like trying to think. I'm like, we had Trent Dilfer. Even when we won the Super Bowl, the offense was not good. Jamal Lewis was carrying the team on the ground. Like,
yeah,
you then went to like Elvis Gerback and Kyle Bowler, and like it was terrible, man. Like, I remember the offense being atrocious. And then we got McNair and we went to the playoffs and then lost to the Colts and Peyton Manning. But until then, it was like never any life. You know what I mean? So Billick was an offensive mind, but that was like the exact opposite strength of our team.
Yeah. Be exciting, bro. Be really exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who they hire, man. I cannot wait. And then how quick does the staff get built out? Probably quick. I mean, they have to have an idea, right? Because usually who they're hiring for their staff is potentially not the main head coach guys. You know what I mean? They have someone in mind. Like, does Clint, just say we hire Clint as head coach, would he want potentially his brother being the OC? Clay? Because he's interviewing for a head coach job now as well. But I was just thinking, interesting, like, what if we got the brothers?
That would be interesting, bro.
They'd probably work well together.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be something else. Would that be like the first time ever that we had like brothers?
Maybe. I just think it'd be interesting. Like, you got Clint Kubiak head coach, Clay Kubiak OC, and then you got to go out and hire a good DC. And I don't even know who would still be available. I'm not sure who else is going to get plucked. It seems like Robert Saleh is going to go somewhere. He's got multiple interviews this week. Brian Flores is interviewing with the Steelers tomorrow in person.
Yeah. That's like just the Steelers type of hire.
Well, he was just there working too. They know him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So like all the reports that we see about like, hey, Brian Flores doesn't work well with all the players and things like that. Baltimore may be unsure about that. Pitt's not, though. He's been on the staff. Like, he's been in the building. They would know more than anyone.
That's true.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting, man. Anthony Weaver kicks it all off tomorrow.
Anthony Weaver, dude, did you see that report from Pro Football Talk? Like, that the Ravens would consider trading Lamar Jackson.
I know it's getting buzzed right now.
What?
Bro, I try to like have patience with seeing BS articles and like it. I don't know, because we're like very tapped in because we run channels and stuff, but like it gets annoying. Like it feels like you're fighting this like fake resistance. You know what I mean? That is like curated. I don't know where this stuff comes from. Literally, the national championship, it's actually probably on right now. I will watch it a little late, but like the national championship's on, and I see the entire sideline is filled with like Brady and the Raiders staff, and they're watching Mendoza. They have the number 1 pick. Like, I don't know where you just jump to. Well, the Raiders, I think, are going to make a splash, and it sounds like they're going to trade for Lamar. It's like, well,
I know Tom Brady's a fan of Lamar.
I mean, sure, would they want Lamar? Yeah, that'd be exciting, but like the Ravens would have to agree to that. I don't know what you would give up for the Ravens to say yes to that, because, like, my goodness, it would set us back. Forget the head coach. Like, we're rebuilding. You know what I mean?
I know. And you have no continuity.
Like, no, everything's like a clean slate. Like, we're probably gonna suck. So nah, dude. No.
It would have to be like, no, I don't know. I probably wouldn't give up anything to trade Lamar, but I'm just trying to think, if you got the first overall pick, and then you got like Mendoza, and then you also got like Max Crosby, and then you got like the rest of their first round picks for the next 4 years or something. I don't know. even then, it's like, bro, Lamar Jackson, like
Well,
he's
that's
your
my
Super
point.
Bowl window.
That's
Like,
my point. Like, even getting Crosby at that point, like, sure, our defense probably going to be fire, but our offense is not. Like,
yeah,
and I like Mendoza. I think he's got good potential, but most rookie QBs that come in year one aren't just like taking over. I mean, I guess Jaden Daniels had an incredible year, but like even guys like Caleb Williams, you're seeing the year two bump. Drake May, you're seeing the year two bump. Like a lot of these guys don't just come in and just like go to the Super Bowl. So
right.
I just feel like if you ever made a move like that, you'd be setting yourself back a few years. And I just
Yeah.
why are the Ravens aren't in that type of position. They're not ready to just like, hey, we're not going to be able to really compete for a Super Bowl for 2 to 3 years. It's like, no, they're not built like that. We're
Yeah.
ready now.
They're ready now.
Yeah.
They're ready now, man.
Yeah. 100%.
Only probably one more year of Derrick Henry too. So
Yeah, I would imagine one more year. And then older guys too, like if you can't get out of the contracts about because I know you brought this up when you first were going over like everything on your mind about like Marlon Humphrey's contract or Roquan Smith. If you do keep those guys, and I don't know if you watch Marlon Humphrey's podcast, and I know sometimes it's a little tough watch, but like
I
he
haven't watched
mentioned
games lately.
he mentioned this week, I just tune into the players podcast because they got sometimes like they reveal more information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he said this week that he talked to Eric DaCosta and he gave him a percentage chance of him returning. And he's like, I like my odds. And I'm like, huh? Like, what did he say? Like, did Eric say, like, hey man, like 90% chance or like 50 or what? But it seemed like Marlon was comfortable.
The fact that he told him that there was a chance he's not coming back is pretty telling.
That's another, exactly. That's another like dynamic to that is not only, like probably coming back, but definitely a chance you're not coming back. And it's still up in the air. And that may depend on, they probably got to build this staff out and have conversations. I know it's ultimately Eric's decision, but I'm sure he's going to kind of want to see who the coach is and maybe what kind of defense you're going to run and like, what pieces do we actually need? It's going to be tough to get out of Marlon's deal early, though. Like all the cap savings are for a post June 1st cut. That's where the meat of the cap savings would be. But at that time in free agency, there's no one left. There's nobody to go spend a lot of money on. So I'm not sure. I feel like some of the older guys might stick around for this year, but we'll see. I don't know if that's the best decision. I just feel like the contracts are ugly. And Marlins, like we just extended it and added those void years, and there's just so much dead money with it.
I know, man. And I'm part of it's like, can we get some good football from Marlon? Like, it's not like he's completely washed, but there's just too many times
this year was rough.
Yeah.
This year I lost.
Even the times when he got beat, it's not like he was way out of position.
I know, but he's getting beat. It's saying the same thing about Brandon Stevens.
Yeah.
You know what
but
I mean?
He also had like 4 or 5 picks this year, right? Like he was one of our most consistent turnover guys. But
because no one was getting a lot of turnovers. He definitely, he definitely was showing up. But it sounds like he's coming back. I mean, don't be shocked if he's not. But I'm just saying, hearing him talk, it sounds like he's coming back. And I do think that's a lot to do with if they cut him at the beginning of free agency, they just don't save enough to make a difference. Like at that point, it's like, let's just keep him. Yeah. You get a huge savings after June 1st, but where are you going to spend the money? So I don't know. I feel like they're going to bet on him one more year. We also need a corner. I think we're thin there. I mean, you're going to have to rely on some unproven guys. And I mean, we could always draft one, obviously, and maybe sign another vet like we did with Wouzier.
Yeah, I hope they bring Chijobi back. He had a good year.
He did have a good year. He was starting to fall a little bit at the end of the year. I think a lot of the guys where our secondary really struggled like the last few weeks of the season.
Yeah, but imagine like if the pass rush was just a little bit better, how much that could have helped. Just like getting the ball out a little bit quicker. Like some of these guys, the plays that were made on these guys may have never gotten played. Like never happened.
No, 100%. That's a great point. Like our pass rush coverage marriage was terrible.
Yeah.
Like they were on opposite pages. When the coverage was good, we couldn't get home. And it was pass rush is key. Let's get to some of these other super chats too.
Yeah.
Adrian with the 5. Thank you. Love the content. Can't say enough good things about you two. With ownership, cap, draft picks, and Lamar, we're set. Any free agents you like, ideas? Thank you so much, Adrian. Appreciate the kind words. First free agent, if we don't go and make a big trade, I would say Trey Hendrickson is a interesting name out there. I know he's not going to be cheap, but I also piggybacking off us just talking about pass rush, like we need juice.
He would boost pass rush a lot.
Yeah, him and Mike Green's gonna take a leap too, man. I'd be shocked.
I hope so.
I would be shocked if he doesn't take a leap. I saw so many good things. People were hard on him because he played so many snaps and the numbers weren't there. And I get it, but like it's his first year. I will never look at a player's first year unless they're like really, really bad. But like he was not really, really bad. You know what I mean? No. There was so many flashes. And like I'm never gonna be like, this guy's not it, or like can't get better. Like Kyle Hamilton had a lot of struggles in year one. Dude, it's like you can't write people off.
Ryan, if Mike MacDonald was still coordinating our defense with Mike Green, I can almost guarantee you Mike Green would have been flirting with double-digit sacks.
Yeah, a lot of people would have had more sacks, 100%.
So I think a part of Mike McGreen's lack of success was not even on Mike Green. We saw Dafe Owe with 0 sacks go over and get 8 or 9 sacks with the Chargers and then get 2 or 3 in the playoffs. Like, what, dude?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Another major piece of that is, and we bring this up a lot, but it's because it was such a hole. I think what hurt the edge room in previous years where they made him look better is Matabike. Kyle Van Noy had a career year, like a lot to do with Matabike in there, like just wreaking havoc. Matabike had that career year too. And like losing him hurts everybody. But regardless, we got to get to the quarterback. You know what I mean? There's
I got some free agents I like, Ryan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For me, go ahead. Bro, you got to bring in a veteran guard. I got 3 names I like.
All right.
Joel Bitonio, Browns, 34 years old. He had a 70.7 PFF grade, which was 8th out of 81 guards. And his pass pro was 8th out of 81. So instant above average starter. Even if he falls off a little bit and he's average, I don't care. You just need at least one more known piece at one of the guard positions.
Even if it's just depth, like even if a young guy like Emery beats him, I love the depth. Like we need that competition.
Yes, and we'll see. I think we need a vet for one of those starting spots.
Yeah, I'd feel
probably Voorhees. I don't know. We'll see. Unless Voorhees takes a big step, I want to see a vet there. Kevin Zeitler, bring him back, dude. He's 30. He's 35.
Crazy, we're still saying that.
I don't care, dude. He was 20th in run block grade out of 81 guards. He was 9th in pass pro.
Like, should have never let him go. He got a $6 million contract.
Football, man. And then there's another guy. I would love this dude. This dude, like those 2 guys are coming average to above average, like veteran starters, right? This dude is a dog. Isaac Siamalo, Steelers guard. He's a Pro Bowler, bro. He was 4th in pass protection in the entire NFL. He was 12th overall with a 74.9 PFF grade. He's a mauler, dude. So then there's some other flyers out there like Zion Johnson, who was a 1st-round pick. He's he was kind of been an average guy. And then there's some defensive tackles. If we can't bring back Matabike, if he's out for the year and we don't draft somebody, I think we need another interior pass rusher alongside to help out Travis Jones not get doubled every time.
Yep.
DJ Reader is a free agent. We know that dude's a dog. Him and Travis Jones in the middle of your defense, nobody's running the football on us, bro.
I did an offseason in Madden, and that was my free agent addition was Reader
nice.
with Jones, and it was good enough. I know it's Madden, it's not realistic, but it's just funny you say that because I gotta put back there.
Ravens got money. Like they can add.
They're gonna have way more money if we get the Lamar Jackson extension done too. And either way, it sounds like they're gonna move money, right? Because Steve said if Lamar doesn't do it, we're gonna just add void years and stretch it out. So let's get to work.
Let's do it. And then there's also more of an interior pass rusher, defensive tackle, John Franklin Myers of the Broncos. Dude had like almost double-digit sacks this year as a defensive tackle. So
he's an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah.
Dude, nice. Yeah. There's plenty of options, man. I mean, and I love all those options too, because it's focused on the trenches. You know what I mean? And that's such a word everyone uses so much, but it really defines how good your football team is. Like your O line and D line need to be strong. If you're not moving bodies on both sides of the ball, you can literally just watch that and see how the game's gonna go. Like just watch who's getting pushed. You know what I mean? Like it's a huge sign of how this is gonna turn out. So that should we need to build a fortress in front of Lamar. Been saying that. I love adding veteran guards like you're bringing up, because even if they don't end up starting, we need healthy competition. I thought that was such a mistake to not have a lot of competition. Like we drafted a few guys. We got Emory Jones, who ended up not being ready because he had shoulder injury from college. And then you basically had no competition at guard. Your competition was Ben Cleveland. Like
who they ended up releasing. Like,
right. Yeah. It's just not enough, man. Like you need to get pushed. Like let the best guy win the job. If Alele ended up being the best guy, but you brought in competition, I guess you live with it. But like to not even have competition there is frustrating. You know what I mean? Like real competition. Like let's bring in a guy who we think could be better than him and let the young guy just absolutely blow us away for him to get the job. And that's fair. You know what I mean? And especially a veteran who has consistently had the NFL experience, like a Zeitler, somebody that knows the game, understands formations, and knows when situations too, not even just that, not even from a scheme standpoint, but who to pass off, which guy to pass off, which guy do I go attack, which guy do I find in space. Like too often we were confused this year, and you just can't have that, man.
Yep. And it would definitely help out Derrick Henry. So
100%.
Have another bet.
We got another super chat from Trey. Appreciate you with the 5. You'll get pumped up watching Jesse Minter versus the Chiefs, dude. Yeah. I've been watching more Jesse Minter videos, like people breaking it down. There was a Chargers video when they first hired him last year, and they were showing how most coordinators they teach like 40 formations and just a lot of depth to their defensive calls, and Minter has it broken down to like 8, where he can teach and switch the calls with just one word, and it's so simple for everybody to understand. And it's not that the Ravens are incapable of like learning complicated defenses. I think we've ran a complicated defense, but I just think that simplifying will increase the communication through the roof. And this year we really struggled with everyone being on the same page.
Yeah, especially if you're bringing in more young DBs, which you're going to have to. So
you need to know, people need to know what they need to do. You know what I mean? Well, and we got to get to the quarterback, which makes everything easier.
Yeah, 100%. Trey Casey, thank you for that. Super. I looked up Chargers versus Chiefs this year because you got me intrigued. And the first matchup, the Chargers beat the Chiefs, held them to 21 points, and that was in the season opener. And then the next matchup, they held the Chiefs to 13 points. And so Jesse Minter and that Chargers defense swept Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I like it.
Yeah. I think Minter, I mean, he's not heavily favored for no reason, and he's heavily favored on a lot of teams. It's not just the Ravens.
Yeah.
So I think
I saw that tweet come out from like Brett Coleman, I think, and Daniel Jeremiah, like obviously 2 awesome football minds, and Daniel Jeremiah like so locked in with the Ravens. Like I'm pretty sure I saw them before while the Ravens still had Harbaugh, like Jesse Minter, the next Ravens head coach, like before Harbaugh was ever fired, like, and then as soon as he was, like some of these guys were like, yeah, Minter, so it'll be fun. Like, he seems like a legit head coach candidate for the Ravens. We know we got Weaver with the second interview. We'll see if Minter gets one.
I think Minter's going to get one.
Yeah,
and it should be this week because there's no reason to wait. Like Kubiak and those guys, you have to wait. You know what I mean? You don't have a choice. But Minter's available, and he's going to be interviewing elsewhere. So, like, if that is a guy you are coveting, just get him in the building, like Wednesday or when, you know what I mean? Whenever you got time. Like, there's really no reason to stretch that one out.
Yeah.
We got another one from Jay. Appreciate you, man. What's up? If Kubiak is the pick, who is the OC DC? Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to what I said earlier because I think it'd be fun if his brother came over and we had Clint and Clay at head coach and offensive coordinator. Obviously, Clay Kubiak, if he's the head coach, or Clint, if he's the head coach, is going to have his hands all over the offense, whoever the
Yeah.
offensive coordinator is.
Who's the other assistants, the offensive assistants with the Seahawks? He might bring over one of his guys he's familiar with that he's been working with.
I don't know who's. Yeah.
Or if he brought over, like, if Shieldhouse doesn't get a no, they probably wouldn't do that because the Rams and Seahawks are like rivals. But
yeah, and Kubiak's also been around too. Like he's hopped around a few teams. He was just on the Saints. He's been on the Vikings. Like
he was with the Niners.
Yeah, he has his brother's with the Niners. Like
right.
They have a lot of yeah. Dude, their special teams coordinator, Jay Harbaugh, hilarious. Yeah, I don't know who the DC would be. I have no clue. I don't know because it's probably not. The head coach has the most say in who their staff is, right? So I mean, like, the Ravens aren't going to just supersede and be like, "We want Weaver. I don't care what you say."
Right.
Like, I feel like the head coach has to kind of be on that page of like, "Hey, yeah, these are guys I've worked with. I know this guy. I'm gonna hire that DC." So it's really hard to build out. It's fun to build out and guess, but it's hard to build out who the full staff would be until we know who the head coach is. Then I feel like we'll have better idea.
For sure. It's not like you can just handpick your guy, like the ideal, names all around the NFL. Like they're gonna have their guys there they want to work with. So
yeah, not too often does like Eric DeCosta and Steve Bisciotti hire a D coordinator that Kubiak doesn't even know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's also interesting because that's part of the interview. Like they ask him, who would your staff be?
Yeah.
What would your staff look like? That's part of the interview. Like they want competitive names in there.
They want connected guys too. I feel like if you were a guy who's like, I'm not sure yet, they're gonna be like, we're on to the next. Like we want someone who's plugged in that is like, oh yeah, I got 6 guys who are dying to be the OC or DC with me. Like I got a full staff. I know exactly how it's gonna look.
Yeah.
And then Jay hit us with another one, man. Appreciate you. How about Rex Ryan at DC? I'd take Kubiak and Rex. It does sound fun. I mean, but then the defense wouldn't change much though, because Rex Ryan kind of implanted this Baltimore Ravens scheme initially. He's had hands all over it.
I think Rex is like sticking to the TV thing.
It's easier.
I don't think he's
less work, but Rex Ryan's an interesting name. I just don't know if it'd be a massive change from scheme standpoint, but definitely mentality and preparation. Rex Ryan, I remember those defenses, man. They were fun. And that guy is entertaining and relates to players.
Yeah.
We got another one from Trey here. Appreciate you with the 10, man. Jesse Minter created the defense system that MacDonald runs. It started in 21, 22. That defense they created is very interesting. He's a good teacher and leader coming from the Charger players. Yeah. Minter was here, 2017 to 2020?
2020, yeah. 2017.
And then he went back to college, Vanderbilt and Michigan, and then
was it Mike McDonald, the linebackers coach for Baltimore?
Originally, yeah. And then he went to Michigan and then came back as the DC.
Yeah. So did Jesse Minter and Mike McDonald have overlap with the Ravens at the same time?
So Minter was 2017 defensive assistant, worked with the defensive backs until he was promoted to defensive backs coach in 2020. So he finished out that season. So Minter from 2017 through 2020. And then Mike was 2022. Where was he? When did he originally get here? 2014, 2015, 2016. Yeah, 2017. Yeah, Mike was here the whole time. Mike was here 2017, 2018 through 2020. He was the defensive backs coach in 2017 when Minter was the assistant. And then in 2018 through 2020, Mike was the linebackers coach while Minter was the defensive backs coach. And then Mike went to Michigan. So, yeah, I mean, they are cut from the exact same cloth. So it's definitely, I saw some people saying Minter's too connected to Harbaugh, but then like that argument can't apply to Mike MacDonald then. Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
if you love Mike MacDonald, he was also connected and came up under that tree. So I think Minter would be a safe option there. I do. And it just intelligent defense, man. And I really feel like there wouldn't be a year where our defense struggles. Like we would be playing great defense with Minter consistently.
Which you see puts you in position.
Yeah, you're like always in the game, and then you got Lamar and
the Texans and the AFC. The top defenses this year were the Texans, the Broncos, and the Patriots when they were healthy, right? When they got Milton Williams and their defensive line back. But all those teams right there were in the divisional round of the playoffs with that good defense. So imagine you have an above average Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry offense paired with that top defense. I mean, yeah, it's scary. I appreciate the other super there, Trey Casey. That's a good point about, he said he's a good teacher and leader coming from the Chargers players. I've seen that as well. Like it seems like I saw there was a former Chargers player, Fahoko or something like that.
Yeah, a guy who's been just getting in fights on X.
Yeah, he gets with the Ravens fans. And but he was like, he said something like, man, Ravens about to have a top 3 defense just like that. Like he's about to fix your defense. Like
I did
insinuating that he's coming.
I didn't know how much I could rely on it because he's had some wild takes.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, but yeah, no, I agree, man. I'd be confident with Minter. And I think he's up there on the Ravens list too. And all the NFL teams that need head coaches are interested in him. So that's a tell sign right there too. Like there were some coaches that like the Dolphins head coach that they just hired, we didn't even interview. So there's some coaches that like weren't getting interviews for all the teams, you know what I mean? But Minter's been one that's like on everybody's list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Minter. Who else was interviewing Minter? Wasn't it the Steelers?
I'm not sure. I know they're interviewing Flores in person tomorrow. I'm sure let me see who he's interviewed with. He's getting a second interview with the Raiders. So let me see here. Yeah, I don't know all the teams. I don't know all the teams he's in the Browns, Raiders. The Falcons interviewed him. They obviously went with Stefanski. Yeah, I don't think he's conducted an interview. The Raiders seem to be who the reports are like leaning towards right now. Because it's a second interview. And the Raiders also wanted Jeff Hafley, the guy that went to the Dolphins. They had an interview lined up with him too. So now Minter's in like prime position to be their favorite. But who knows, man? You know, the Ravens tell Minter behind the scenes, like, hey, we are very interested in you. He's going to tell the Raiders to hold on for a sec.
Yeah. That's interesting that we didn't even put in a request for Jeff Hafley.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, there's certain guys we just haven't even talked to.
Yeah. Dude,
I don't know.
I think it's between Minter and Kubiak.
Okay. So then we won't know then. Because they won't make a decision until they interview Kubiak, right?
Yeah.
You're not just good because if you're going to hire Minter, you're going to get your requirements out, satisfy the Rooney Rule and everything, and you're going to interview guys this week, and you're going to be done, and you're going to hire Minter. If you're waiting 2 more weeks, you really possibly want Kubiak or potentially one of the Broncos or Rams coordinators too.
Yeah. It just gets dicey because if Minter's like one of your top guys, if Minter's like, you really like him, but you also really like Kubiak,
you might lose him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a risk. I know. I thought about that with Saleh because I was like, dude, I'm watching Saleh get interview after interview this week.
Yeah, dude.
He's gonna sign with like the Titans or the Cardinals or somebody. Yeah. That's what happened with Stefanski.
Yeah. Unless he wants to be really patient about his next head coaching opportunity and not.
Which is possible. I mean, Harbaugh kind of did that to a few teams, right? Like he was like, I'm controlling this process. Like, I'll meet with who I want to. Let me take a couple days to think about it. Yeah, I mean, Minter, Saleh, these guys that are highly coveted, could just wait 2 weeks and let it play out. But I agree with you, man. Like, you know, if you want to wait to see, there's risk. And especially with a new team like the Bills popping up, you know, it just got a little bit more competitive.
Yeah.
If we're going after the same guy, though, who even knows? But I would be a little, I like don't want to see like Kubiak just like go to the Bills. You know what I mean? I'm like, no,
yeah. Dude. If Kubiak goes to the Bills, I want the Bills to get like Dayball or.
Well, that's Brady and Dayball were like the early leaders, and I was like, perfect.
Yeah,
like that works.
Go ahead, dude.
Yeah. Oh, another guy that they said is about to get a head coaching job with somebody. I think the Titans he's the favorite for is Matt Nagy, and I think that's probably coming true because the Chiefs hired
the enemy.
Yeah, as they brought him back. He was there before, right? Yeah. They brought him back as their offensive coordinator. So Matt Nagy's out. So like and they said they think he's going to get a head coaching job, which and like all reports right now, I guess leading is the Titans for that.
Interesting.
Which would make some sense.
I mean, Matt Nagy had some success with Chicago as a head coach. It wasn't all bad there.
It was a guy I didn't really want, so I like to see these names kind of go into like the Titans and like Dolphins, like other teams that you know, or Stefanski to the Falcons. Like I didn't hate Stefanski, but I was just like, I don't know. Man.
He wasn't one of my top guys.
But. Yeah. So it's kind of nice to see them clear out a little bit, but some interesting names still like Minter and Saleh though floating out there, or Flores even, that are getting these interviews, not with the Ravens though. So I'm just curious to see how aggressive the Ravens will be this week. I think this week's very telling. If we only interview one or two guys, well, we know we're interviewing Weaver, but like if we only interview maybe one more, that's a huge telling sign that like we are very interested in coaches that are still coaching in the playoffs this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good point. I saw Pittsburgh is bringing in Weaver too. They're really interested in Weaver. So, and Weaver's obviously one of our finalists. I kind of just want like all of our top 5 finalists, all the other teams just back off, bro. I want our pick out of those guys. Like
I know
our prime pick.
And if you wait a while, if you do wait till after the Super Bowl, the list will be smaller naturally.
Yeah.
I just think the Ravens feel like they're in control though. You know what I mean? I don't think they feel like they need to be like, we gotta hire a guy this week just because the competition's heating up. I think they're like, no, we've talked to everybody we want to talk to. Like, we're going to let this play out over the next 2-3 weeks. And if we got to wait till after the Super Bowl, that's how it's going to be.
Yep.
We're going to get our guy.
Yep. We'll know, like you said, if they don't make the hire this upcoming week, we know they're very interested in Kubiak and Shieldhouse.
Yeah. Or Chris Shula. Yeah. Or one of the Broncos coordinators, Webb, or, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys coaching this weekend.
That's true.
A lot of half our list. I'll pull the list back up real quick. Half this list is basically coaching, not half exactly, but like
Vance Joseph,
Kubiak, Webb. I didn't even talk about Jim Schwartz. I think he's getting a second interview with the Browns as well. But Shula, Shieldhouse, and then this new guy that I guess we're interviewing, the special teams coordinator.
6 of our guys
are playing this weekend. So there's plenty of guys to wait on here. If that's, you know, what they want to do, I don't know, but I think we'll learn a lot more, man. We got another one from Jay, man. Appreciate you, bro. Really want to see EDC go after Max Crosby. Yeah, that's the dream. That's the dream. I remember. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's the move. Bring in Kubiak. Got a stinking lockdown, elite offense. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Kubiak, play action. Max Crosby on the defense. Let's go. Win a Super Bowl.
We'd be getting to the quarterback. We probably would not be picking at 14 though, but that's fine. Like the draft would get way less interesting if we get Crosby because we're not getting a top guy. But I just think
it still make some noise in the second and third round.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we'll get some solid guys, but you know what I mean? Like that, the guy at 14, if we stay at 14, is probably going to be a dude like right out the gate.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but I'd take Crosby all day though. We need to get to the quarterback, and there'd be no debate that would happen. And you got Mike Green evolving, and you got Tavius Robinson continuously getting better. I love what I see from Tavius. Like, yeah. And then you go sign like a Reader or somebody in free agency, just shore up some D-line depth, dude. I mean,
Reader, Travis Jones, Max Crosby, Mike Green. That's nasty.
Tavius. Yeah, I guess you probably would not bring back Draymond Jones in a situation like that. If you trade for Crosby, you might not pay up for Draymond, who's not going to be super cheap. But regardless, I mean, there's so many options, man, and we're going to have a lot of money with this Lamar Jackson extension. So,
I'm not obviously Max Crosby would be the best, but to get a guy like Trey Hendrickson, Trey Hendrickson has led the league in sacks before,
and you give up nothing.
And that's exactly my point. You give up no capital. And then imagine if you get Trey Hendrickson and then you could grab another, like, what if there was another elite trench player there?
Peter Woods falls. I just did the first mock draft and he fell.
Yeah.
And I was
Peter
like,
Woods, Trey Hendrickson, Mike Green. Or if there was another edge rusher, an elite edge rusher, would you say no to an elite, like a elite edge rusher that fell to 14? Heck no. Because Trey Hendrickson would probably only be here for a year or two. So that could get real nasty real quick. The other guy, there's another name that's he's not in the tier of Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson, but he's an above average difference making pass rusher that's a free agent. That's Jalen Phillips.
Yep. I wanted the Ravens to trade for him near the deadline.
I mean, he's a pass rusher. He's a dude. No, he's no
I would like him a lot, actually. That's a good call.
Yeah, that's a guy that I'd be intrigued about. He's going to get paid though. He's going to pay good money, but all these edge rushers are, but it would be interesting because what percentage of Max Crosby do you think Trey Hendrickson is production wise? I'd probably say around 80%.
Oh, that's exactly where I was leaning.
Yeah.
I was leaning that. I mean, he's definitely not like as freakish. Like, you know what I mean? Like Crosby's got a different level of explosiveness and ability, but production when it comes to like just getting home, Hendrickson does an incredible job.
Yeah. I mean, he's got an elite pass rush win rate almost every single year. Hendrickson in 2023, 17 and a half sacks. In 2024, 17 and a half sacks. So back-to-back years was 17 sacks. Before that, he was at 8, 14, 13. And then in 2025, he got injured. He had a hip issue. And I don't think people say that he could have came back if it wasn't for the whole contract thing. But he had still 4 sacks last year, even with missing a lot of games. So every time he's on the field, he's productive. Super productive. No, so if you could get 80% of Max Crosby production without having to give up a first-round pick or two,
makes sense. No, it does make sense. Yeah, that I do think there's a strategy where we just stay at 14. And is Crosby available? Like you may call and like the reports are false, and the Raiders are like, nah. You know what I mean? So
for 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, for a king's ransom, we'll give them to you. You got to overpay so much that you give away all your future years. Like. Eric DeCosta's not doing that. It would have to be like a decent deal. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he wouldn't pay market value, but like, I don't think he's way overpaying for anything because we have other options like we just explained where you can get some guys in free agency and keep pick 14. So that's an edge right there too, man. A lot of decisions, but yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see who the head coach is going to be.
We'll know within the next few weeks, buddy.
I know. I'm excited.
Go Seahawks win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks, too, that the Broncos lost Bo Nix, man. Because I feel like it just takes the air out of the AFC. Even if they somehow like win an ugly game against New England, I just don't have any faith that they're winning the Super Bowl. I'm like, dude, the Rams and Seahawks are beating them with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's just
kind of with the Eagles that one year when Nick Foles came in and had that like.
Is it the same though? I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I don't know. And that same year that Nick Foles did that, Carson Wentz was the MVP before he got hurt. That team was unbelievable. And then
they had a lot of offensive pieces there.
Yeah, so I just don't think you're getting the same lift. I'm not saying Bo Nix is like top quarterback, but he's way better than their backup. And I don't
He's
know, man.
probably a top 10.
Yeah, he's playing great. It just took the life out of the AFC, man. I think the Super Bowl winner is coming out of the NFC.
Yeah, I was gonna root for the Broncos over the Patriots, but now it's kind of like you want the more competitive team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just I am too, by the way, but it's less interesting now. It's like I don't think they're gonna win it all without Bo Nix. So it's like even if you get by, it's like probably an L coming and maybe a non-competitive Super Bowl. Like I don't want that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
What do you think that does to all the teammates? Like they're probably still like, oh, we could still win 2 more games. Like we could do it. Like
they're fired up and have hope, but deep down you lost a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
There ain't no way. I mean, that's the guy you've been with for the last 2 years, and like all of a sudden in you're hosting an AFC championship and you don't have your starting quarterback. That's brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal, man. Mitchell, no updates on Matabike. I think it's going to have to come from Matabike because even Eric DaCosta and Steve did not talk about it.
Yeah.
So, but they also didn't seem very confident that he was coming back. They seemed like it was a situation they have to deal with.
Yeah. I thought, we thought, oh, because of the whole injury thing that they can get out of the contract, but then we were talking about how he could just, I'm just going to keep rehabbing. Just going to keep rehabbing to keep
getting second opinions. I'm going to keep going to other doctors and see if it's possible for me to return. Meanwhile, we got to pay him $32 million on the cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal.
So I wonder if it's just better if they know it's going to drag out, if they could just cut him and
then we'd know for sure. I'd like to hear something from him though. I don't know. Maybe he's playing a little bit of a information game too, because he wants to do that and slow roll it so he can get paid. And he's not going to come out and be like, yeah, I got a neck injury and I'm never going to play again, because then they're going to be like, well, then retire, dog. We need the money. But instead, I think he's going to be like, no, I'm going to try. And yeah, like you said, the Ravens are just going to have to eat the money. Even if we cut them, I think the cap hit's gross. The dead money's bad, man. We just extended.
But you got to get at least a little bit back, right?
I don't know if you
get it just all guaranteed for the next.
Yeah, because he just extended it, so it's like front loaded. Usually, you can get out of those deals a couple years in, but not. I'm pulling the contract up right now just to see.
Why does that have to happen to us with star players?
Ronnie Stanley. Yep, I know. First thing I thought of. Well, it wasn't career ending. At least Ronnie came back and gave us some years, but no, it does suck. I know you sign a guy who's coming off an incredible year, a superstar basically, and then he's out for years potentially career. So the dead cap hit. Oh my. Oh, we're not cutting them, bro. Yeah. $52 million dead cap hit this year.
Oh no.
The cap hits $31 million. But next year, if we cut them, the dead cap is $21 million. So it goes down substantially.
But how much would you save? Because it's going to be dead regardless, right? If he slow plays it, like.
Well, yeah, but if the dead cap, you would save the cap hit that year, 2 years from now is 31.5. You would save like 10 million that year. But next year we'd lose 21 million.
Wow.
So we're not cutting him. Not next year. Like that just wouldn't make any sense unless he retires, because $31 million cap hit, $52 million dead cap hit.
Wow.
You're not taking the L. Like, you know what I mean? So you're just going to like pay the 31.
Yeah.
And hope he plays somehow. And then the year after, so 2027, $31.5 million cap hit, but the dead cap is 21. So therefore you could get some savings, but that's, 2027. It's not helping us right now, man.
Yeah. That is brutal.
Yeah, no, we're in at this point, like, best possible thing is that he just can come back, because we're not going to be able to just completely get out of that. So Sam with the 5, appreciate you, man. Love to share, fellows. Keep up all the hard work. Go Ravens. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Sam. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Another Monday, going all off season. And yeah, Anything else on your mind, bro? You want to hop off, watch a little national championship?
Yeah, I think that's all for tonight. Sometime soon, Ryan, we'll be doing a live right after the Ravens hire somebody.
I
Hey,
know.
maybe we'll be super blessed and it'll like drop like 5 minutes before we're supposed to be on.
Yeah. The Draymond Jones trade happened while
Yeah.
we were live. That was cool.
Yeah. We don't want it to happen like during the live because then we can't change our title and thumbnail. But if it happens
Yeah.
like, conveniently 5 to 15 minutes before, if you could announce the hire
Yeah.
6:45 on a Monday.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah,
100%.
man, I'm
That would be
excited. One
great.
of these lives here soon, we're gonna be talking about the new Ravens head coach. That's
I
exciting.
know. And then we could actually talk about like some tangible staff members and like how this could potentially look. Because once we know who it is, it's like full dive into like what do they like to run? What are they doing? Right now there's 16, 17 candidates. You have no freaking clue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of blind trust here. I mean, we're having fun talking about it, but we'll see what they do.
Yep. And free agency's right around the corner too.
March. Yeah. What? First, second week of March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the draft. Yeah. The offseason flies, man, once it gets rolling. I feel like this time, usually we're in the playoffs, so we're talking about a lot more. But the head coach thing made this period way more interesting. You know, like even
more bearable.
Yeah, dude, because we'd be talking about nothing. Like there'd be like, if we're just running it back, like what's there to actually talk about like during February or like even right now? Like at least the offseason's super interesting.
Yes.
So hype for that. But Adam, real quick. Yeah, we just talked about this. So how many years until we can get out of it? Before we have any savings, it would be 2027. We could get like 10 million in savings. We'd still have to have some dead money, but 2027 would be the time to get out of it. We're not getting out of it this year.
Yeah. So can't do anything this year. You'd lose money to cut them, but then the next year after that, you could save 10.
Yep.
No, but then still have a crap ton
of
dead money.
You're still paying them 21 million to not be on the roster. Yeah. But it's better than 31 million. But either way, let's just pray that like his neck heals and dude's back next year in a Ravens jersey. Like that's what we need to pray for. We need to not talk about like Matabike retiring. I mean, if he retired, it would help us. But if he stays and doesn't retire and just doesn't play, like that's a tough situation.
Dear Jesus, please heal Matabike's neck.
Yeah, amen.
That's what we got to go for, man.
Yeah, 100%. But appreciate you guys. We're gonna hop off and appreciate all the love and for you guys being here, especially during the national championship. And yeah, man, excited to see who the head coach is going to be. So we'll find out soon, but love all you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day and we will see you next week.